Hello and welcome to the Truck Grand Prix here at Zolder. Now it is the penultimate round of the Lotus Cup Europe and we still have 5 races to play out, so this weekend is certainly set to be a thriller. It's a chilly Sunday morning here at Zolder with track temperatures around 19 degrees. Now you join us on the track for the start of race 1. Qualifying was prosperous for Jonathan Walker as he qualifies in P1. Last year's 2-time race winner Gregory Rass qualified in P3, and last year's 2014 overall champion Jeremy Lorenko in P4. Now a man that's proving unstoppable this year is John Rass, who qualified in P1 once again in production class. Time for us to move out of the way and you join the action.
As ever, a gigantic grid for the Lotus Cup Europe, headed by John Walker. Then we've got Xavier Georges alongside him on the front row. Jeremy Lorenko should fly from 4th. He has been in a rich vein of form. Then it's Philippe and Jean-Baptiste Loup on row 3. John Rass, head of the production class, in 20th place. He has absolutely dominated this year, and great to see him up inside the top 20. But Phil Capstick, Jason McAnulty, I'm sure will be hot on his heels. Markus Nakovic also driver who often goes well. And then at the back of the field, David Harvey should be able to pick his way up through from 33rd. It's a long distance to travel around the former home of the Belgian Grand Prix. We get ready for the start of the first race. This is the rolling start. So the cars come to the gantry, the lights change, and away we go, and it's elbow to elbow between Xavier Georges in the sky blue car, the white machine to John Walker, and around the outside of both of them goes Jeremy Lorenko, and it's Lorenko, the dark car with an orange stripe along the centre, who leads the way. They're all clean through the first couple of turns as we go in car with Christophe Zolder, one of the most prominent of the 211s, as we pick up the pace coming out of Canal Bocht on towards Lucien Bianchi Bocht, which is where, of course, Alan Jones crashed that 1981 Belgian Grand Prix, before they then accelerate on towards the first of the chicanes. Here's Lorenko, who's got John Walker, Xavier Georges on his heels. Gregory Rass, as a result, has been shuffled down to 4th place through all of that. And there we caught a glimpse of the black Evora of Steve Williams, who is directly in front of Benoit Rogier, as they then climb up over the boot section of the circuit and then into the chicane at Dralman Bocht. A little bit sideways from Xavier Georges. Very, very sideways from Frank Laroche. Around he goes, and he just keeps it out of the wall. Well, the first marshal completely unflappable. The second rushing in to get the green flag waving as Laroche finds a gear and gets on his way. Unfortunately, this early on the race, although it's cost him time, it should still give him plenty of opportunity to carve back through the field. So coming towards the end of the lap, and it is Lorenko who's got the advantage from John Walker. Gregory Rass, meanwhile, has found a way past Xavier Georges, who has been shuffled down in these early stages. Thierry Verheest has also had a good first lap. He's up into 5th. Back in car with Benoit Rogier as he moves up through the gears in pursuit of the Evora up ahead of him. And there is Steve Williams, in fact, thinking about looking to the inside of Christophe Zolder, who corrects a big slide. Don't think how the assistance there, possibly just caught out by the low track temperatures that Kiri was talking about. It's often the way with these races later in the season. Actually, when it's quite sunny, the track takes a while to warm up. The race starting just after 11 o'clock local time here in Zolder, as into the chicane once more. Already the leading duo of Lorenko and Walker just easing away. There is Thierry Verheest as he jinks on the brakes, flicks through the chicane, and he has got Philippe Loup in hot pursuit. And we've got the battling Steve Williams. He's got a couple of the 211s right into his tail. Lorenko doing as he's done so often this season, trying to break away. Unfortunately, into the pit lane, that is Philip van Pempenegger. Hopefully he'll just be able to get the car checked over and back into the fray fairly rapidly. Well, that was a glimpse of Andrew Wright in the bright orange 211. Andrew we've seen several times in a bright red Elise, but moving up to the 211. So into the end of the lap is Lorenko, who negotiates Jackie Ixbocht. Many of the corners here. The Zolder circuit named after legendary drivers of years gone by, and there's certainly a strong case that Jackie Ix, arguably Belgium's greatest ever racing driver, as Nathalie Genu-Praché looks to the inside of Andrew Wright, is able to slide past, gains the place in the bright pink 211 as they flash through in to start another lap. And flicking in to the first turn here, named Erster, as Andrew Wright looks to fight back to the inside of Nathalie Genu-Praché. Genu-Praché, though, finds the traction around the outside. That gives her the inside line for the next corner, and she'll be able to reclaim the place. While John Rass would appear to have possibly dropped behind McAnulty, and so that could be very interesting as the production battles, as ever, continuing throughout the field. Meanwhile, just looking to the inside, there is Steve Williams. Car in front runs wide across the chicane as they climb up over the brow and the hill. It's one of the faster sections of the Zolder circuit. Hosted Formula One up until the mid-1980s, but remains a very prominent fixture on many international championship calendars. Nathalie Genu-Praché, clear of Jean-Pierre Genu-Praché, and has also got Robin Nilsson just in pursuit. This is our top three in the race. Over, Jeremy the Raincoat still leads the way from the white car of Jonathan Walker, and then the white and red striped car of Gregory Rass. They ease through the chicane, complete the lap past the teams on the pit wall. One or two pit boards proffered, so they then set up nice and early for the left-hander that starts the lap before they then loop back around the pits complex. There is Christophe Zolder. Zolder getting a little bit of pressure. There's Nicolas Frere just behind him. Steve Williams then still able to withstand the pressure of that glut of 211s. Indeed it is. There is Frere, the white exige, right in onto the tail of Christophe Zolder, as all the while Jeremy the Raincoat leads the way out front. And actually Gregory Rass just beginning to come back onto terms now with Jonathan Walker. Then we've got Xavier Georges, Thierry Verheest, and a big gap in the traffic. Meanwhile, here is John Rass, who is looking to challenge and is possibly going to go past. Can't quite able to. I didn't quite see how that finished as the Raincoat picks his way through the chicane. And this is the beauty of the Lotus Cup Europe, is that wherever you look through the field, there is always a dice in progress. This is the section circuit, Ramen Bocht, with the addition of the chicane in the mid-80s, as now coming towards the end of another lap. Jeremy the Raincoat reeling them off very, very rapidly. Pole position for John Walker, by the way, 1 minute 42.2, which is about 139 kilometres per hour. So getting on for about 100 miles an hour average speed for lap. Meanwhile, Steve Williams in amongst the action and demoted by Jean-Baptiste Loup in his 211. Philippe Loup in the Exige V6 Capar, somewhat further on up the road. But Williams now looks to fight back, moves back to the inside of Jean-Baptiste Loup. And there is the black of aura of Steve Williams. And as the pair of them battle, they are beginning to reel in the Christophe Zolder Nicolas Frere battle. So that is all beginning to close up very nicely. Meanwhile, Nathalie Genu-Praché, who has been dropped a little bit by Andrew Wright, she's now got Jean-Pierre Genu-Praché in close pursuit. And there is the white car carving, scything back through the field of Frank Laroche. But more crucially, you could see that up into the lead of the production class had gone John Rass. He'd moved clear of Jason McAnulty. So that is very much business as usual. Meanwhile, Steve Williams is right onto terms now with Nicolas Frere as they fling through the chicane, up over the crest in the hill, and then swooping downhill immediately into the left-hand kink. Williams looks to the inside for the chicane. There's no space there. Nicolas Frere rides the curbs, so does Williams, and then they will be heading through one of the faster sections of the circuit as the race leader, Jeremy Lorenko, every single lap, and this has been the case throughout much of the season, it's just a tenth or two on his rivals, but it means the cumulative effect over the course of the race can be really quite devastating. There is Thierry Verheest, and Verheest has not given up a pursuit of a podium place here. He's got Xavier Georges immediately ahead of him. Xavier Georges in the sky blue and orange entry that was on the front row of the grid. Back to the Steve Williams battle, and how much progress has he made? The answer is none at all in terms of positions, but he is appreciably closer to Nicolas Ferrer as the pair of them run nose to tail into the turn, fling through the left-hander. Now can Williams pick up the pace on the exit? He uses all the curb, but so does Nicolas Ferrer. It means that Ferrer has got the optimum racing line through the second corner as they then head on towards Canal Bocht. We'll pick them up again as they come out of Lucien Bianchi Bocht. Let's look into the background as Luke comes past us. There is Christophe Zolder and Nicolas Ferrer. Now, where is the Black Evora of Williams? The answer is it's clear of Ferrer. So as Steve Williams gains the place, Jeremy Lorenko leads the way in Zolder. We are midway through the first of two races this weekend from the Zolder circuit. Jeremy Lorenko leads it from Jonathan Walker, and then the man will ride in car with Gregory Rass. And Rass beginning to get John Walker in his sights. They've been able to slip away from Xavier Georges and the battle for fourth place with Thierry Verheest. And now they're also crucially getting in and amongst some of the traffic. Gigantic 33 car field for this first race of the weekend, and therefore the challenge now for Walker and Rass is going to be as much the battle with each other as it will be managing the traffic, as John Walker makes a big mistake through Lucien Bianchi Bocht, and that kicks up a lot of dust and gravel, but crucially it costs Walker a fair chunk of time along one of the longer straights on the circuit. It means that Jeremy Lorenko now gets a decisive break at the front of the field, but it also now well and truly puts John Walker into the sights of Gregory Rass wide in car with Rass now as he runs through the chicane and running through this narrow corridor of trees. Sun beating down. The Zolder circuit a little bit more undulating than maybe you initially anticipate. Meanwhile, Frank LaRoche continues his recovery. There is David McAnulty. McAnulty negotiates the chicane. We go back in car with Gregory Rass. This is the fight for second and third place. Another lap about to be reeled off, and John Walker beginning to, I suspect, get to the stage of the race where he'll be looking anxiously at the countdown board, looking at his pit board, and hoping that the race clock will really tick away. Turns through the opening turn. There is our race leader, Jeremy Lorenko, and Lorenko about to encounter one or two of the production class cars, and that possibly would be a little bit of a headache for Walker. Well, there is LaRoche and McAnulty, and they are about to be caught very, very shortly by the race leader Lorenko, who is able to ease past the Elise, one of the best places to catch traffic on this circuit. But now it means that John Walker is potentially going to catch the car at one of the worst points on the track, unless he can clear him coming over the crest now. It's then a very tight and twisty chicane. In fact, that's very good driving from the production class runner. Moves aside, doesn't intrude on this fight for second and third, which clitters and clatters across the chicane. Now Rass well and truly in pursuit. Meanwhile, Nicolas Ferrer and Jean-Baptiste Loup continue their battle. There is Steve Williams. He has got Philippe Loup in his sights now. This has been a great race from Steve Williams, really building the pace in the Evora as he has done so often this year. And again, he might be able to take full advantage of the traffic as Luke in the V6 Capart picks his way through the chicane. Here is the fight for second, and the two cars well and truly joined as they flash across the line into another lap, but there it's only going to be time probably for 2 or 3 more tours. And now Greg Rass looks to line the move on John Walker. No way through into the opening turn. David McAnulty sees them coming and moves aside. And then turn into this second turn, which feeds them on towards Kanalbocht. While Steve Williams right onto terms now with Philippe Loop. So they flick through the chicane end of the lap, and you can see Williams just trying to get on the pace a little bit earlier in the Evora, trying to possibly get the jump on Loop along the start and finish straight. Fight for second place still as one. So they head into this flip-flop chicane, feeds them out into the woodland section of the circuit. Over the crest in the hill. Smoke from one of the slower cars that were out to encounter. So a distraction, particularly for Jeremy Lorenko. For John Walker, who was a bit smoother on that occasion than Gregory Rass. And now this race, as it moves towards its closing stages, really crackling into life. Lots of battles within the top 10. This is the production class leader, John Rass. Rass comfortably in command of the production class, as he's been so often this season. While Williams looks to the inside loop and is able to squeeze through. Great move from Steve Williams, but fighting back is Philippe Loop, who really was just trying to drive through Steve Williams at the end. There was no space there, as we are completing another lap. And now Rass looks to make the move on John Walker into the opening turn. They're lapping Rob Woolridge. Woolridge again off the racing line, but it just doesn't quite leave enough space for Gregory Rass, as John Rass is busy battling with Janos Santa. This is a battle for 17th in the race overall, but it's not a production class battle, as Natalie Genie-Prache picks her way through the chicane. Rass looks to try to get back onto terms with Janos Santa, as we go back in car with Gregory Rass in the fight for third place. He has still got John Walker immediately ahead of him. It's been a good last half lap, or it had been for John Walker, who takes a far bigger bite of curb near the light, and now that suddenly brings Gregory Rass right back into play. Lap 3 of Frank Laroche is concluded from Jeremy Lorenko. What about this fight for second? Now Greg Rass has well and truly got John Walker in his sights as we head towards the final kilometres of this race in car with Gregory Rass through this narrow tunnel in the trees. On the brakes, John Walker just moves half a metre or so to the inside of the track and catches Frank Laroche on the exit of the turn, and that again is going to give Gregory Rass the opportunity to challenge as they head towards the final chicane. Walker covers the inside line this time around, so no way through for Gregory Rass, but it's the exit from the chicane which is absolutely critical. It's been well managed by both Walker and Rass. So across the line now for Jeremy Lorenko. This is to start the last lap. John Walker just needs to hold on for exactly 4 kilometres as he turns through the opening corner. You can see that Walker is just using a little bit more road than Gregory Rass, and as a result Rass might just be able to pick his moment. Rass will well know this is his last lap. You can see on his steering wheel he's got a countdown clock from the start of the race as he draws alongside and goes for the move into Lucien Bianchi box. Oh, that's beautifully judged by Gregory Rass as he boxes in John Walker behind David Harvey, and so Gregory Rass up into second place. And that move had been really building ever since Walker made the mistake at this section of circuit a lap ago, but now the boot is very much on the other foot. But John Walker has only got about 1,500 metres to try and reclaim the second place that he has held ever since the race got underway. For Jeremy Lorenko, it has been another very comfortable performance, and yet Walker's tyres, I suspect, are absolutely cooked. The car flicks sideways once more, and still the battling through the field continues. Benoit Roger looking to gain a little bit of ground on Anthony Fournier. Steve Williams, headlights ablaze, has pulled well clear of Philippe Loop. He's about to put the lap on Janos Santa, who in turn has been passed by production leader John Rass. Williams negotiating the obstacle of Santa without any drama as Jeremy Lorenko accelerates out of the final turn. He will see the checker flag this time round. He signals number one and celebrates for Gregory Rass. It has been an absolutely fantastic conclusion to the race. A brilliant move on the last lap to claim second, clear of John Walker. Celebration time though for Jeremy Lorenko. His excellent season continuing in this opening race at Zolder. Fist pumping out of the window. And he celebrates. Let's take a look then at the final results. Jeremy Lorenko wins it from Gregory Rass and John Walker. Then Xavier Georges and Thierry Verhey. Steve Williams, a great drive up into 6th place. For John Rass, a fantastic victory once more in the production class and a very creditable 17th overall, just behind Frank Laroche, who recovered well from that early spin. Marcus Nikovic in 21st place. David Harvey did make some progress and he finished in 30th, just behind Rob Woolridge. Fortunately, Phil Capstick and Philip van Pevenegger didn't make it to the checker flag.
Jeremy, congratulations, back on the top spot again. You started in 4th, made your way up to 1st in the first couple of laps.
Yeah, encore very good race today. I'm start P4 after not good qualification, and I'm very proud, fine, happy for this race. I make I think a very good start, and I stay at P1 at the end, so it's perfect.
John, congratulations, 3rd place. I know you got pipped to the 2nd place on the last lap. What happened there?
Got caught behind a lap car just at a sort of critical moment at the turn into turn 3. Had a lift and Greg just came by.
Not quite the place that you wanted, but still a 3rd place. It's not bad.
Yeah, but at least we get another go this afternoon.
You certainly do. I'll let you get on.
Thanks.
John, congratulations. This is beginning to be a bit of a theme here, winning every time.
Okay, it's a little bit boring, sorry for that. Yeah, well, I know this track very well, so the result is not a big surprise. But I had a small problem, technical problem with the car, and I hope we can fix it for the next race. And I had a great fight with Jason this time. It changed a little bit. But yeah, it was fun, good result.
Christophe, congratulations, better than 2:11 class. Well done.
Merci. It was a really beautiful race, despite some complications and mechanical problems. I had great fun. Now there is a second race to look forward to, and perhaps a win.
Fantastic, congratulations.
Merci.
Join us after the break for more in race 2. Lotus Cup Europe, of course, is sponsored by some fantastic sponsors, and Evo is one of those from Elise Shop. Now, can you tell us a little bit about your sponsorship deal?
Yeah, I can. Elise Shop is a specialist company who do parts for modern Lotus cars. So apart from supporting the racing community, what we really want to see is what goes on with our parts, and we want to see it happening live. So we get a lot of feedback from the race series, which we can use in development of new products.
Fantastic. Now, what draws you particularly to the Lotus Cup Europe? Obviously, the big grids and the fantastic races as well.
Absolutely, and it's a very nice atmosphere. A lot of different nationalities, a lot of different people, and it's just a very good thing to be there.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for talking to us.
Welcome.
We're back on the grid for the start of race 2. Now, the challenges the drivers face will be different from race 1. With a standing start, the question remains, can Jeremy Lorenko get the start that he got in race 1? And can John Walker hold off Gregory Rass? Now, further down the grid in production class, Jason McNulty is hoping his birthday wish will come true and he'll take a win from John.
So it's the same grid for race 2, just a standing start this time round. And it's Jonathan Walker in the white Exige V6 car who has made a great start. He leads into turn 1 from Gregory Rass, and then it's race 1 winner Jeremy Lorenko slotting through into 3rd place. Xavier Georges has come off worst of it. He has been demoted down into 4th. He looks back to the inside of Lorenko as they head into turn 2. Meanwhile, we're in the thick of the production class battle in car with Sven Pettersson. already. You can catch a glimpse of John Rass, who has got a jump at the front of the production class, though Jason McAnulty is doing what he can to challenge Rass in these early stages. It's also Janos Sant we see in the first of the yellow cars. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, they arrive into the chicane, and John Walker looking to make amends from race 1 by trying to make good his escape early on. Gregory Rass, meanwhile, has got his mirrors full of Jeremy Lorenko as they head into Teralmont once more. And Walker able to try and build that advantage early on. The rest of them all shuffling through in good order. Jean-Baptiste Loops had a good start to the race. He's the foremost of the 211s to go in car with David McAnulty. McAnulty, just that nice solid single turn on the wheel, minimal correction, because what you want to be doing is getting the car to do all the hard work. McAnulty thinks about possibly look to the inside with the car ahead of him. Can't quite take any advantage as Andrew Wright just got caught a little bit, moved to the side of the road, and Wright possibly ailing, going very slowly on towards the pit section. Jenny Prache looks to challenge McAnulty as they jink through the chicane. Here are the race leaders then. John Walker gets waved on by the team. Gregory Rass then in second place as Christophe Lezondre moves around Jean-Baptiste Loop, and that is enough to give Christophe Lezondre 5th place ahead of the 211 class, as Walker about a second clear of Rass, meanwhile behind some great battles as Thierry Edouard doesn't know which way to look. He's got cars going past him either side. It was Benedek Major who was launching to the inside line. Wasn't entirely successful, gained a place, lost one as well. And in these early stages, it's often a golden opportunity to really try and gain ground. This is also much better for Xavier Georges. There he is, the sky blue car in 4th place. Now, on several occasions already this year, he has ridden shotgun to Jeremy Lorenko, the pair of them locking out the top 2 places on the podium. The teammates and very good friends have got a fair amount to do if they're going to achieve that in this second race. So Rass again coming back towards John Walker, and I think what Walker is struggling to do is just nail each and every corner with the consistency maybe that he'd really be liking, wanting to try and break clear. What that's doing is now and then just opening the door of fraction for Gregory Rass, giving him the encouragement he needs to try and get back into the mix. There is Sven Pettersen, who we ride in car with now. This is a bumpy ride over the chicane, and over the curbs, as now the battle for the lead is well and truly joined. As Gregory Rass has got a little bit of heat into his tyres, he's now really coming onto terms with John Walker. The pair of them head into another lap on the brakes for the first turn. And of course, as they battle amongst themselves, what it's going to do is bring Jeremy Lorenko into the mix and Xavier Georges. What Walker would really like is maybe for a slight elevation in pace from Jeremy Lorenko. That would just distract Gregory Rass enough to give Walker the chance to ease away. No such joy. There is Yves Kureman to the fore of his battle with Kai Kederholm. Back in car with Gregory Rass out of Lucien Bianchi box, and along behind the pit section on the brakes into the chicane. Flick left, then right. Lorenko now just beginning to shake off Xavier Georges, so we've got a clear group of 3 at the front of the field then. Xavier Georges in 4th, he's in touch, and surely if the leading trio start to engage in battle, we'll be able to get into terms with them fairly rapidly. At the moment, there's got a little bit of ground to make up. There is John Rass, meanwhile, head of the production class. Benedict Major looks to the inside of Jason McAnulty, space of 1 car at a time through the chicane. They've also got David Harvey in the 340R looking to try and close up onto their tail. This has been a totally dominant season for John Rass in the production class, and once more it is looking very promising for him. It's looking a lot more challenging though for John Walker as we look back from Walker's car. Gregory Rass well and truly looking to challenge for lead now. The pair of them head along the start and finish straight. Walker is forced to cover the inside line. Rass goes elbow to elbow with him into the first turn. John Walker though, last the late breakers, able just to keep his nose in front of Gregory Rass. But then Rass looks the inside to turn 2, and this time surely he's going to go through, but again Walker just that a little bit more committed as he finds the outside traction in car with Gregory Rass in towards Lucien Bianchi box. This is where he was able to get clear of John Walker in race 1, but he can't do it this time round. Quick consultation in the mirrors as well for Gregory Rass, just to see where Jeremy Lorenko is. Meanwhile, David Harvey, Benedict Major have gone their way. That's the production class runners. There is the dark and orange car of Jeremy Lorenko, and he is now right onto terms with Gregory Rass, as the pair of them are not giving any sort of an opening to John Walker at the front of the field. Absorbing the pressure though at the moment from Gregory Rass, but they've got the best part of some 25 minutes of racing remaining. And that is going to feel like an awfully long time for John Walker. Moves it down through the gears into the next sequence of turns. No change on that occasion from Rass, but it's through the final chicane, so they're approaching now the Jackie X box, which is where Rass is so impressive. And actually this section of circuit is one of the classic texts at any race driving school, and any ARDS course, because the exit speed is so crucial, both to the lap time for the existing lap, but also setting up for a good lap the next time around. Rass looking to challenge John Walker into turn 1. He's not quite close enough on this occasion. They then swing on towards Canal Bocht. Meanwhile, plenty more battles to be found throughout the field. Jean-Pierre Prache well clear of Mathieu Prache for the moment, and then we have got David McAnulty, who is looking to make a little bit of progress there on Nicolas Ferrer. It's unusual to see Nicolas Ferrer actually running low down the order. He is normally right up inside the top 10, so possibly he's nursing a little bit of an issue. Headlights ablaze now from John Walker. He's getting in amongst the traffic. The first car he's going to encounter is Andrew Wright, who had those problems early on in the race. More battles lower down the order. There is Dennis van den Sarvel. He is chasing the orange car of Yves Kuruman. That is the fight for 22nd position. Demoted by David McAnulty. He finds the space around the outside. Nicely done. They have got Janos Santa as well, looking to challenge, and Janos Santa able to squeeze past. All the while though, at the front of the field, it's John Walker who is leading and has been able to take out the front despite the sustained pressure. Slightly less pressure for that man, our production class leader, John Rass, as Gregory Rass once more poised to challenge John Walker, but he's just giving Walker a couple of car lengths breathing space for the moment as Walker heads through the early stages of another lap. Don't forget, this is a 30-minute timed race, and in race 1 we got through some 18 laps. And probably won't have a safety car, given the conditions are pretty much the same. So we'll be looking to as a race distance in race 2. There was David Harvey. A much stronger race this time around. The lead remains exactly as it was, except to say that it's now Jeremy Lorenko who's possibly just beginning to blink. He has dropped a couple of car lengths back from Gregory Rass, but again, this could all be about the tactical element, just giving each other a little bit of breathing space, a chance to cool everything down and then regroup for another challenge. And that's what Gregory Rass looked like he was lining up to do to John Walker. Meanwhile, Thierry Edouard has got Philip van Pevenegger on his tail. Van Pevenegger having a much better race this time around, and they've got Yves Kuruman and Dennis van den Sarvel both beginning to ease up onto their tail. Here is the fight for the lead once more, and again Gregory Rass looking to challenge John Walker as they flick through the chicane. This is where Rass will be looking to try and gain a little bit of ground on Walker. I'm sure he can quite do it on this occasion. Brilliant racing here in the Lotus Cup Europe at Zolder. Welcome back to Zolder and the Lotus Cup Europe, and this is one of the races of the season, with this particular lead between John Walker, who we're riding car with now, and Gregory Rass, who has been all over his tail ever since the light went out. In third place, we have got race 1 winner, that is Jeremy Lorenko, who is poised to pick up the pieces should anything go wrong. Meanwhile, Benoit Roger applying the pressure to the fluorescent yellow car of Jean-Pierre Genu-Prache, and Roger looking to the inside into turn 2, might just be able to sneak away past, can't quite do it, and then they run on through Canal Bocht. Meanwhile, in car Gregory Rass, there you can see his countdown clock. We have got just under 20 minutes remaining in this 30-minute race. Gianno Santa and David Harvey do battle a little bit lower down the field. They have both closed up to David McAnulty. But now for the front runners, they're getting to the stage of the race where they're going to get in and amongst the traffic quickly, because this is the beauty of the Lotus Cup Europe multi-class racing. There's always somebody to race with, but you have got cars of very varying speeds throughout the field. Walker can see Gregory Rass closing onto his tail. Then we've got Jeremy Lorenko, who is sitting and waiting to pounce just behind as they head out of the Jackie X Bocht on towards another lap. And Rass not quite as close to Walker on this occasion. It means that John Walker can take his preferred racing line into this opening sequence, and most crucially already set up as he'd like to now for this double right-hander, which then with Lucien Bianchi but just feeds them onto the back straight along behind the pits, which is one of the faster sections of the circuit. Meanwhile, Benoit Roger and Jean-Pierre Genu-Prache continuing their excellent fight. Jean-Pierre Genu-Prache pretty much perfectly positioned in the middle of the road, but Benoit Roger sees a gap to the inside. That gets closed as now Gregory Rass comes right back onto terms with John Walker as they jink through the chicane. Walker consults the mirrors behind him. Gregory Rass looking very, very relaxed in the cockpit. I'm sure his heart is beating frantically in terms of the way that he's turning the wheel. So positioning the car, he's making it look very straightforward. And they have both got Jeremy Lorenko there in third place, and Lorenko with lights ablaze. I don't think Gregory Rass needs any reminding that Lorenko is there, but it also serves as warning to Gregory Rass just to get the hurry up, as Rass now makes the slight mistake, and for the first time John Walker has got the best part of 5 car lengths over Gregory Rass as they head through the final chicane. Complete another lap. This is one of the sections of the circuit where Gregory Rass has been so strong, although he has a slight correction of the wheel there, a little bit of opposite lock just before he begins to move up through the gears. He'll be slightly frustrated with that. Jeremy Lorenko is there in third, Xavier Georges a slightly distant fourth, but they've got a little bit more traffic now up ahead of them. And as ever for the race leader, John Walker, this is where it starts to get difficult because he encounters the traffic first of all. And Walker heading towards Lucien Bianchi, but he's got Kai Kederholm just ahead of him, and he goes to the outside. Kederholm, he hasn't seen him. They make contact, and Walker flies off the road, and so does Kederholm. Has a huge impact with the tyre wall as Walker rotates into what I suspect is going to be a retirement. Looks to try and get the car restarted and back underway, but I fear he's beached. Well, the good news is that Kai Kederholm is okay. That was a very, very nasty impact. And the car ending up upside down on the tyre barrier. So all of that now promotes Gregory Rass into the lead of the race, with Jeremy Lorenko in pursuit. Amongst the production class, it is of course John Rass who still leads the way. Jason McAnulty though is well up there in second place. He's got the white car of Markus Nikovic just in behind him. Meanwhile, Jean-Pierre Genu-Prache possibly in a little bit of trouble. He gets passed by Natalie Genu-Prache and David Harvey into the Jackie X Bocht. Several places that Jean-Pierre Genu-Prache has lost over the course of the past couple of laps. They have got a little bit of traffic to contend with in the form of Rob Woolridge. As Natalie Genu-Prache looks to the inside of David Harvey and squeaks past, and then Genu-Prache rotates, and that's into the path of the race leader Gregory Rass. who would not have wanted to have seen 211 facing the oncoming traffic, and that is always, we've already seen how treacherous it can be, the race leader through traffic for John Walker. It was very nearly a similar incident for Gregory Rass. Eugenia Prache rejoins the fray, but she has now lost a glut of places as a result, and is about to be lapped by Xavier Georges. There is Xavier Georges. There is Thierry Verheest in the Evora, or rather Steve Williams, that is, in his Evora, chasing Thierry Verheest. They're fighting over what is now 4th and 5th place. Jeremy Lorenko trying to get onto terms with Gregory Rass through the chicane. There's Dennis van den Sarvel. He's trying to get himself up into the top 20. Oh, and another big spin there for Eugenia Prache, and this time she very nearly collects production class leader John Rass, and also 3rd place in the raceman Xavier Georges. Georges got through without delay. John Rass was delayed, but fortunately wasn't skittled into the gravel, because that could have been a very, very unfortunate way to bring his winning streak to an end. Here is Gregory Rass as he heads into another lap. He's got Jeremy Lorenko poised on his tail, and Lorenko has got a few moments here at his disposal. Jeremy Prache will possibly require a little bit of assistance to get out of the gravel trap. Marshall's earned recovery vehicles head that way, but what it also does is eliminates one of the key overtaking opportunities on the lap, as Benedict Major goes a lap down to Xavier Georges. Georges pounds across the line, headlights ablaze. We've got this almighty sort out going on behind. It's Christophe Zolder, who is well up amongst the Evoras. He's got Steve Williams snapping his heels, and there is Williams, headlights ablaze, looking to claim the place from the Zolder. Zolder, though, holds his line. They squeeze past Jason McAnulty as well through the left-hander, but they are rapidly running out of time. I think Williams may have just made the move on the Zolder. We'll find out momentarily. No, they're still as they were. The Zolder just clear of Williams. There is Robert Nilsson. As he plies the throttle, picks his way past a couple of the production runners. His main target is Benoit Roger, but Roger a little bit further up the road, and therefore going to take some catching. Now into the chicane for the final time. Jeremy Lorenko lines up the pressure on Gregory Rass, but Rass has got enough as he accelerates out of Jackie Ick's box. The checkered flag goes out, and it's victory in race 2 in the Lotus Cup Europe at Zolder for Gregory Rass. 2nd place goes to Jeremy Lorenko, and then it is going to be quite the wait for Xavier Georges to claim 3rd place. Across the line for David Harvey. Look at the celebration from Harvey, both arms in the air, and that was a great drive from David from the back of the grid up to 12th. A check then at the final classification. Gregory Rass wins it from Jeremy Lorenko and Xavier Georges. Thierry Verheest clear of Steve Williams, and Christophe Zolder at the top 211 in 6th. John Rass once more to the fore of the production class, ahead of Jason McAnulty and Marcus Nikovic, all 3 of them well inside the top 20. Andrew Wright did get back into the fray, eventually to finish in 26th, just clear of Kees Versluis. Well, for John Walker, what may have been, but it's great to see that he and Kai Kederholm are okay.
Gregory, congratulations, well done.
Merci, merci.
First of all, I hope all is well with the drivers. I'm not sure who it was. It's not easy to win a race here, so it's nice when things go to plan. I hope all goes well for them.
Jeremy, congratulations, moved up again from 4th to 2nd. Not quite the win that you hoped on, you took home in race 1, but congratulations all the same.
Yes, thank you. Merci. A strange race. I hope to John and another driver who's good, je sais pas. We don't very take much pleasure to do in the race 2 because I think it's a dangerous race. But I'm I'm okay. I'm happy to finish second.
Dave, congratulations. Race 2 a lot better for you, finishing in the top spot.
Yes, it's been a really, really hard weekend. We didn't get out in free practice, didn't get out in qualifying, so it was to the back of the grid. And then in race 1, it stopped again. And in race 2, well, I just kept going, and well, it almost kept going, not quite, but it did, and we got there, yeah. So a good end.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, an amazing weekend, and you're top of the championship table as well going into Le Mans.
You think? Oh yeah, you're right. Again. Yeah. No, it's a nice race as usual. A little bit boring because I was alone. Yeah, I was in the middle of nothing, in between Janos and the other guy from Eastern Europe, as usual. Sorry, but I keep the point for the championship, so that's a good result again.
Well, fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So leaving Zolder, then it's John Rass at the head of the standings, with Jeremy Lorenko snapping his heels in second and Christophe Lezondre in a very solid third, just ahead of his main rival in the 211's Jean-Baptiste Loup.
As always, it's been an incredible weekend of racing here at Zolder. Now we move on to Le Mans for the last round of the Lotus Cup Europe. Here at Zolder, the V6 dominated, but the championship table is all still to play for. We'll see you next time.